Yeah, your favorite Tara Little Bacon Bear hanging out with the one and only. And I gotta say it like all your votes sounded Uptown Trinn. Uptown Trinn. So I don't have to ask you where you're from because Uptown is where you're from, right?
Yes.
Is that where you were raised or you went to school and stuff like that too?
That's where I was born and raised. I moved to Southeast when I was like 12. So like from birth to 12, I was uptown. My
So
elementary school.
you a proper DC girl.
Yes.
But let me ask you the obvious. How has DC impacted your music being as you were born and raised there specifically? Not everybody can say that.
DC has impacted my music because, okay, I'm sorry. DC has impacted my music because, first of all, everyone loves music here. Go-Go originated here, Chuck Brown, everything. So music has been my whole life. My mother's an artist and she's big in DC. So
Who over there?
So my producer's over here.
Hey producer. Let me say hey producer. Come on in. Let me just say hey to you real quick. Yeah, do your thing so we can get settled because we record right now, producer. You know what that's like, right?
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
Well, nice to meet you too, good man. But as far as you know, DC is concerned, being as you are a DC artist, and you said that your mom did music.
Yeah.
Would you say that your mom is like a musical influence then to you? Because I didn't even know that.
Absolutely. I've been writing since I was younger because of her. She was taking me to the studio since I was like 6, 7, 8, like just going to the studio. And I was singing. I wasn't rapping. Like I started singing when I was really, really young. And then I joined the choir and I think I was like the 10th and 11th grade and the 12th grade maybe. But I joined the choir, so I was always singing and she really influenced that. And then she's the one who told me you should be a rapper. So definitely my mom.
What I think
my mom more than DC a little bit more, honestly.
Ooh, okay. That's a fair take. Mom over DC. I get it. You know, when I think of like moms influencing or encouraging their daughters in their work, I think of Megan Thee Stallion. You know, her mom was an artist and she really pushed her. Are you familiar with that story at all?
Yes.
What kind of lessons do you think that your mom kind of imparted on you early as it related to the music industry?
She at first she really wanted me to be a singer, but once she realized that I had like not really lost interest in it, but I kind of like started dibbling and dabbling into other things once I graduated and I started like really digging into my poetry. So most of the lessons she told me was not to make the same mistakes she did in the industry, like when she was younger. Because like she said, she sees a lot of me in herself. So a lot of her and me. I said it backwards. So not to make the same mistakes she did, to stay consistent, definitely my consistency, and to step outside the box. And that's also why I feel like DC didn't really like influence my rap career more so, because now, especially with my generation, the rap career is so different. Like the rap industry, everything is so different. Like
it's totally different. You're absolutely correct on that. But I think we have to afford DC music and DC rap the ability to be a baby and like an infant. Like it's so new to us. Like we are still like if you think, I don't like to compare cities and point fingers, but like if you look at other cities like Atlanta or New York, they've had like 20 and 30 years to figure this out now at this point. But like DC, we still like in our baby. We like less than 50 years, less than 30. You know, we still figuring it out.
DC for rap.
We still figuring it out. And so we got artists like, and we got artists like Uptown Trinn that are paving the way. You know,
I swear. I'm really just trying to also, because so when I first started making music, like my music sounded like, the DC music, especially with my generation. Sounded like that. I had to take a step back, like, where's like my substance and like what's gonna be my sound? So that's also my mom told me too. Like I was supposed to be like way off of that boat, off of that train. So I'm not dropping none of my old music because it sounded like that kind of, and I just wasn't feeling it. So that's why I feel like this, like the current rap culture maybe don't really influence my music right now.
Sure. As far as like advice that you would offer to somebody else that's trying to figure out your sound, you said to yourself that you had to figure out a sound that worked for you. What would you say about that development for somebody else? Like what advice would you offer them?
I would tell you to stay true to who you are, because it's easy to fall into what's around you. It's easy to adapt to what you hear. It's easy to like, even accidentally, like you'll be listening to the music, and I'd be in the studio all the time. So I'm around different rappers who all sound the same, sad to say. So it's like, it's easy to adapt to. So I just feel like stay true to yourself and remember like what you're doing it for. Find your purpose, because if you're not doing it with the purpose, then it's like no substance behind it. Then it makes no sense without substance. So you really have to find your purpose and
substance.
and do what makes sense to you. Honestly, like don't listen to anyone else. Do what makes sense to you. Follow your heart, and everything will fall into place. And what's for you will always be for you. Like it'll always be.
Let's talk about that. I think in
Okay.
this Versus experience, yours was unique, obviously, because we didn't get off on a great foot, but we got a chance to try it again. If you catch my
Right.
drift,
And you want to know what's crazy? That first night, my mom was like, I knew you wasn't going to win that night, but you're going to win the rest of them. And I'm like, sure, you think so? She was like, yeah, like, to be honest, I knew you wasn't going to win. Because she was like, she was tuned in, like, from the week before. She was like, she knew he had it in the bag, but like, she was like, you got it for the rest of the week. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm glad that we had a redemption point, because like when your mom was right, the pressure was on after that. Like it was very consistent about like your fan base. They really engaged for you and with you. When you were hearing yourself win, what was that experience like for you?
I was super excited. Okay, so the first night I won, I was super nervous, and I was with my friend India the entire week. Like we was in the car. At 10 o'clock, we in the car playing 93.9. I was super nervous, but I'm so grateful for the experience. And so many people's been hitting me up after that. Like so many random people like, hey girl, I called the radio for you. Like, thank you.
No, and I'm so glad that happens that way, because I say that Versus is supposed to be that experience. You never know the exposure that comes from that. And this is a perfect way for, DC sound to influence Maryland sound, to influence Virginia sound, and just for us to influence each other for the better, because there's people that you didn't even know that's rooting for you and ready to support you, and they get it. So I love that for you. When you were hearing yourself on that fifth night, what was your first thought? Were you like, I got this?
Right, like hearing myself on the fifth night, and I was a little bit nervous because like I was reminding my friends and stuff, and I was still posting it, but like nobody said nothing to me. Then my friends back, and then once I heard all the votes, I'm like, oh, these people. But I was super excited, and then hearing myself on 93.9, like being a kid going to school every morning listening to 93.9 my whole life, and then getting to hear myself on there, and then like my family text me. I didn't even tell my family, and a lot of my older siblings like aren't on social media, or they don't follow me on social media, so they didn't know that like I was on 93.9. My brother texted me like, I heard you on the radio. Like people I didn't talk to in a long time, so it was super exciting. Like it was nerve-wracking, but it was exciting, and I didn't know how everyone would feel about it.
So you killed it. You did flawless. Tell me about your winning record and how it came to be.
Okay, so Off Limits. How did Off Limits? Okay, so before, like I said before, all of my music before this was like more so like me just I can curse. More so like me just popping my shit and like just talking shit and really like talking about the shit that's like around me and the stuff that I was going through versus what's my purpose and like what am I doing this for? Who am I influencing? Who's watching? Who's listening? Like, and I say I don't support all of these things, yet I go in the studio and I make music like that. So with Off Limits, it was like I called Tip and I'm like, can you send me some beats? And then I really liked that beat. So then I had to really like go for like a more radio sound. Once everybody heard it, it was like, oh, that song is radio ready. Like when everybody heard it. So I was more so thinking about like what are not more so like the industry rappers talking about, but like what am I really doing outside of like DC? Like I'm going out with my friends and I'm getting in black trucks and I'm living the life that I'm really rapping about, really like met a nigga on Rodeo Drive. So it's like, let me really dig into that to see how that'll go versus like talking about the sex sales versus talking about that or talking about like, so that's how that came about. And I loved it once I did it.
I think that the city definitely enjoyed the record, and I'm excited for them to hear more from you. But like, as you're figuring out your sound and figuring out what stories you gonna tell and stuff and things, like, is this going to be the trajectory? Is this what you want to do forever? Like, am I catching you right at the beginning or the midpoint?
This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I love music and I've been writing since I was young and I'm a poet. I'm a poet originally. I have a poetry book on Amazon and I wrote my first poetry book when I was like in the second grade. I was 7 years old. So this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And once my mom was like, and I've been saying I wanted to be a rapper. I'm like, I want to be a rapper, but I don't know how to rap. I kept saying I don't know how to write a rap. And my mom was like, yes, you do. And everybody around me like, yes, you do. But I was like asking people that I met, like, can you ghostwrite for me? Nobody would do it. And then one day my mom like, you need to go home and write a song. And I went home and I wrote a song and I'm like, oh, I can do this. So this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I'm really passionate about it. I'm at the studio all the time. Like, I love writing. I love like coming up with punchlines, coming up with bars, seeing everybody's reaction, especially with like DMV Rap Freaks. They got the city going.
Who, DMV Rap Freaks?
Yes, I released the DMV Rap Freaks in December. Right after Young Miami.
Wait. Is this like it's like one of them, like the viral pages?
Yeah, everyone was posting it. I dropped the song.
Oh, like one of the best of type lists.
No, I dropped the song DMV Rap Freaks.
Put me
Young Miami dropped a song called Rap Freaks, so she was like name dropping rappers. I dropped the DMV Rap Freaks.
Okay, I need to hear this.
Wale, I rapped about Money Mar, I rapped about Fat Trail.
Hold on, wait. Okay, then I have to ask. Okay, I'm gonna check this out. Now I'm gonna check this out. I'm thinking you talking about one of the lists compilation.
This song surpassed all of my songs once it came out.
But you said you were talking about substance so much. Do you feel like
do
you think it's gonna get weird for you, like in the future, seeing some of these people like and having to be in their face after like?
No, because DC's this small that I already know all of them, except for like Wale and Fat Trail and Chris Brown. But like DC is so small, so like I already have those relationships with them. Before I dropped the song, I sent the song to them. Like, listen to this. A lot of them hit me up afterwards, like, your song crazy. And then a lot of people hit me up like, that was unexpected, but it was cool. A lot of other rappers hit me up like, why you ain't say my name?
Ooh, boy.
Right. So I didn't expect to get those reactions, but everybody loved it.
Well,
that's what now
that I found it on Apple Music, I'm gonna have to check it out, and like I'm gonna report back my findings. I'm gonna just see some things.
That's what really got my page blew up though. That's when like my page took off. It was DMV Rap Freaks, and then I dropped Off Limits after that. So like
maybe I've seen this on Hood. Maybe Hoods and News posted it at some point. Okay, so maybe that's where I've seen it. Okay, maybe. Okay, all right, my good man Hoods and News. But as far as the rest of the year is concerned, what can we expect from Uptown Trinn? Are you gonna put out an EP, a project? Or are you working on anything specific?
I'm definitely working on. I'm about to drop a freestyle. I'm dropping a freestyle soon.
Okay,
and I'm going to drop a visual with it. I want to drop a visual to Off Limits and like still push it. I still feel like I could do a little bit more pushing with Off Limits.
Well, and if I can give you any advice, definitely stick with singles. You know, I think that artists got to remember that just because it's old to you does not mean it is old to a new fan, right? Somebody new. And like we're about to play Off Limits with,
the Young Manny song that he recorded like 3 years ago that just went viral on TikTok. That everybody's dancing to.
Spend so like a little time with me. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. You know, you cannot give up on your single. Like, just because it's new to them does not mean it's new to you, and it's still a story that needs to be told. So definitely stick with Off Limits. But you know, the people that have been A1 day one for you, that have been riding for you, you know, they're looking for something new. So when do you think that you'll put out something?
Yeah, everybody like, when you dropping music, especially my friends and my family, when you dropping new music, I'm tired of listening to Outside and Off Limits.
Do you have any projections, like dates, times, or anything like that? Or are you still figuring it out?
I'm still figuring it out because I had to record a video for my freestyle. So I'm still figuring that out in the next couple of weeks though, the next 2 weeks.
Sure. Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. I want to also provide you the chance to, you know, say hello, congratulations, and thank you to anybody in specific. So in short, you can give your shout outs if you like.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to my friends and my family. Like, without them, none of this would be possible. Like, they inspire me so much. And so, you know how sometimes you feel like you're in this by yourself and everything's so hard. But at the end of every single day, my friends who have become my family, they go so hard for me. So I appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my friends and my family, my producers, my 2 producers who go so hard for me. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you so much. I genuinely appreciate you.
Man, thank you.
Like, and it was so freaking exciting to hear me on the radio. I've been listening to my entire life.
Well, I'm glad I could provide the opportunity. You earned this space and you definitely got your win and stuff like that. Before I do the air horns and all the good stuff, what's your Instagram so more people can follow you, say hello to you, get connected with you, and get familiar with your work?
You can follow me on Instagram, actually all social media. It's at Uptown Trinn with 2 N's in Trinn.
Okay.
And Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud,
All that.
Uptown Trinn, 2 N's, and go stream Off Limits.
Definitely. Well, air horns. No. Them are my air horns right there. You can introduce your record to the DMV one time. DMV, if you're looking for this entire interview, it's up on my website right now. littlebaconbear.com and at Little Bacon Bear for me. So do your thing, Uptown Trinn.
Uptown Trinn, and this is Off Limits.
Perfect.
Honey.